Hi guys, welcome back to the show and this week's movie review. Kong Skull Island. Now, I'll start by saying is that I'm not really a big Kong fan, and I know that ever since the 1933 version of King Kong, that has been part of the cinematic history and culture, and that every film that's followed that one that's either tried to remake or try to capture some sort of Kong elements from it has always followed that same formula that was in the original film, where it built up on character and story for quite a bit of time before we actually get to the island to get Kong and bring him back. So because of that, and I'm a big monster movie fan, the slow pacing of Kong films has always been something I've kind of been against. But seeing the trailer for this one, where we're getting an actual action film featuring Kong, which is something that we haven't had since basically Godzilla vs. Kong. Which I know the ties, but we haven't had that since that type of film. And if you haven't seen that movie, please go see it. It's an underrated film. And if you're a big monster movie film buff like I am, especially Godzilla versions, you'll definitely enjoy that one. But in that same vein, this movie lies in, so it made me really excited to get out there and go and see it. So before I tell you guys how I felt about this film, let's talk about the cast. So the cast of this film, it seems like whoever casted this film was trying to cash in on a particular audience, because we have Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki. We have Samuel Jackson, who plays Nick Fury. We have Brie Larson, that plays Captain Marvel. It seems like they were really trying to go after everybody that had ever been, or not everybody, but it was like they were trying to go after the Avengers and Marvel audience. So it was a little weird seeing that on screen. I was like, hey, there's Loki. Hey, there's Nick Fury. Hey, there's Captain Marvel. But wait, it didn't stop there, because we also got Corey Hawkins in this film, Dr. Dre himself, and Jason Mitchell as Easy, well, not as Easy himself. So it looks like they were going after the Marvel audience, they were going after the Straight Outta Compton audience. They were trying to do basically everything they could to kind of get two popular films, bring those audiences together to come out and see this one. So other cast members that we have in here, we do get John Goodman, who's great in everything that he's been in. And we also get John C. Reilly, which I guess in a sense they were trying to go after the Wreck-It Ralph fan club? Maybe? Possibly? Disney? All around? Whatever. Alright, so that's pretty much going to take care of the main focus of the cast in here. Because it is a huge cast, but there's a lot of bit players that go on. But those are your main players in it. So next, let's talk about the plot. So the plot of this film is that we have a team of scientists, soldiers, and whatever Tom Hiddleston is in this movie, going out to this uncharted island, basically just kind of survey and see what's going on. This movie takes place within the 70s, at the end of the Vietnam War. So, you know, a lot of things are going on. I mean, we're already, you know, in a part of the world that we're not too familiar with anyway, and some things have happened in this area and region of the world that kind of explored. There's a company called Monarch, which was kind of a weird name for like a organization that discovers or tries to monitor organisms, unidentified organisms. It was the massive unidentified terrestrial organisms. Your Godzilla tie-in right there. But they're going out to map this island, and when they get out there, they run into Kong. And at that point, it becomes a survival movie, in a vein of something like Jurassic Park, you know, being in that particular setting, or in Land of the Lost. That's another good tie-in to kind of give you a feel of what they were trying to set up in this particular film. So we're gonna stop there as far as the plot. If I reveal too much, then it's no longer a spoiler review. But let's go on into what I like in these film reviews, is the goods and the bads. So the goods of this film is, I would probably have to start by saying first is the action scenes with Kong. I mean, they had some really great scenes going on with Kong. So much with the attacking him, and the battle scenes with monsters and squids and spiders, and I guess it was a squid or the Cthulhu thing, whatever. Everybody he fights it's always super exciting. I mean, so much when he was fighting helicopters, and you guys have all seen this in the trailer. That stuff was done so well. I mean, it was so well. It made me think, I was like, Godzilla should have been like this. They gave me the Godzilla film in this film that I should have gotten in 2014 Godzilla film. So those are really, really awesome. Other things that I like about this film is Samuel Jackson in this movie. Samuel Jackson set up to be more of a Captain Ahab meets Moby Dick. Him being Captain Ahab and obviously calling me a Moby Dick, not the other way around. But it shows his motivations in such a believable way with a man who is in the military, you know, having to deal with this huge monster and him being a soldier. I was going to go in a little bit more detail, but that reveals too much. But when you see it unfold, you definitely believe his motivations, even though at some points they can be a little bit like, okay, that's too far. But, you know, like I said, Captain Ahab-ish. And, but I think he did such a great job in this to where him as a soldier versus this, you know, unstoppable monster that's out there, that he feels like he's the only one that can get out there and put an end to it. Other things that I like about this movie is the cinematography. They give you some great shots in this movie. So much where the silhouette against Kong, against the setting sun, when the helicopters come in. I mean, you get more of an Apocalypse Now type feel with that. But also, too, when they're getting to the island, you get a great Jurassic Park feel to where, like, they're such a beautiful, lush and green landscape, and then when they get on foot onto the island, having to deal with all these strange creatures and monsters that are either trying to ignore them or befriend them or eat them, in one of those cases. So they did such a great job as far as how they set those particular scenes up. You know, also back to the fight scenes, the person had a great eye who filmed this movie. I would like to see him do other things because he's marvelous. This movie looked beautiful. All right, so that's where I'm going to start as far as what I liked about the film. We're going to go ahead and talk about what I didn't like in the film and the bads. So the bads of this film is that Tom Hiddleston is what I thought was a main character is woefully underused. I told you more about Sam Jackson as far as in the goods than I actually told you about what Tom Hiddleston does in this film, because he doesn't do much. I mean, he doesn't even serve as a plot point. He serves as something to kind of move a part of the movie forward, but not really. I mean, so much so that we could have not had his character in this film and it still could have done well. Or we could have had his character him being played by Samuel Jackson, or combine both those two characters. Either way, his character was pointless, and I'm sorry, Tom, because I love you as Loki and I love you as an actor, but I would like to see you do something else that would actually get to show your talents, because this film basically just almost forgot you were in it. You went from the way the trailer pitched you as a star in this movie to a bottom of the list, bottom tier supporting character. Other things that I didn't like about this film was that they tried to get you to, I guess, kind of feel and buy into the soldiers themselves, because in a movie like this, we all know the soldiers are going to be basic fodder for Kong. So they wanted to set it up in a way that where you would, you know, have more empathy for them when they you know, ultimately bid it. And this one didn't do a good job. Only, and I would say because the dialogue never made you believe what they were talking about was something true and believable. It just felt like somebody just wrote that out and said, hey, say this in this movie. And they set up themes that would make you kind of feel for somebody, like in a Platoon or a Full Metal Jacket type setting, but they never played out the way you wanted them to play, or they played out in a way that it was so forced and you knew it was going to come to where, like, just die already at this point. So I really thought they lost it. I think they lost it with the soldiers, and I think they really lost it with Tom Hiddleston in this particular film. Not to say that all the dialogue was bad, but I would say all the soldiers' dialogue was horrible, because Samuel Jackson had some great scenes. I'll give him that. All right, so that's where I'm going to stop with the bads of this film. I guess we'll give my overall thoughts about this film. I think that this is a good movie if you're into monster movies. If you want to see something different in a Kong film, like I said, we haven't had much difference in Kong films because they've all been remakes, except for like Mighty Joe Young or, like I said, Godzilla vs. King Kong and all the knockoffs that followed in that particular genre. But this is a big budget movie in the in the more nowadays monster movie type film genre that really fits well. It's enjoyable. It's a popcorn film, but don't go into it expecting Academy Award type performances from a lot of people. I will say Corey Hawkins and Jason Mitchell, I love what you guys did in Straight Outta Compton, but these were not the best roles for you guys at all either. So you, Tom Hiddleston, and you guys and Tom Hiddleston maybe might want to rethink about the scripts that you guys participate in. So, all right, so you see it. If you love King Kong movies, if you love Godzilla movies, definitely go out and see this movie. If you love seeing, I want to say apocalyptic type movies, but you know, like I said, if you're a Jurassic Park film person, then you'll like this movie as well too. So, kids will love this movie. If that's not for you, then you might want to skip it. If the dialogue kind of grates your ears when you hear it, because in some places it will, then it might not be for you. But I think you should get out there, guys, and see it. So that's all I got for this week's movie review. We'll be back next week. I'll find something that I haven't seen. Take care.